Hey guys, this is Eskimo Poodle, and we are here to start our new Let's Play series, Okami HD for the Sony PlayStation Network. Technically it's for the PlayStation 3, but since it's only available on disc in Japan, I believe, it's just going to be listed as PlayStation Network. So, I mean, yeah, it's a PS3 game, and it has PS3 graphics, and it's all pretty and stuff, but it has trophies, but we can't have the disc for some reason. Apparently Japan is more special than us, so they get the disc, and well, good for them. They always get everything else, like Kingdom Hearts Final Mix Plus, those bastards. But anyways, Okami HD, it was released originally for the Sony PlayStation 2 on September 19th, 2006 as Okami for the PlayStation 2, obviously. It was more of a sleeper hit than anything. A lot of people really enjoyed the game, but at the same point, if you ask them, it's one of those games where if you ask people if they played it, they'll be like, oh yeah, sure, I played it, I love the game. But then if you say, hey, show me your save file, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm just kind of jumping on the bandwagon. So there's a lot of people say they liked it, but there's not really that big of a fan base. But the fan base that is there is very loyal to the game. They really love the game. It's really good. It was again re-released on the Nintendo Wii on April 15th, 2008, with the slight HD upgrade. Since I really don't consider 480p, which the Wii does, as high definition. But if you want to consider that high definition, then more power to you. But yeah, it was released there with motion controls, which are also in this version of the game, and it was good. They took out a few things. Some people didn't like a certain filter effect that they had, which we can change it here, and I never really noticed it. They took out the credits, the end credits of the Wii version for some reason. So a lot of people didn't like that because they really liked the credit song. They have the credits back in here, but I guess they took the credit song out again. But at least people are happy that the credits are at least in this time, not just completely omitted. So, like I said, we're going to be getting all the collectibles. We're going to be doing all the side quests. We're going to be collecting all the trophies and stuff. As you can see, I have 98% of the trophies. I'm only missing 2 trophies, the platinum and one other one. We're going to be getting all the trophies in our playthrough. I might not be getting that one trophy that I don't have still, just because it's more irritating than anything, and I'm not particularly good at the mini game, let's call it, that you have to do in order to get it. So I might not actually get that, but I'll be showing you how to get it and everything like that, so don't worry about it. Because I do have 98% of the trophies in here, or 98% of the trophies for this game, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be switching over to a file where I don't have any data on the game, and I'll be gaining the trophies again along with you guys. That way I can show you guys any missable trophies, and it's just easier. So let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, so you can use the move and stuff like that. You do have to sit through this tiny little intro screen right here every single time you boot up the game, which is mildly irritating, but oh well, you'll deal with it. Yeah, I don't have a PlayStation Move. I know about 0 people that do have it. From what I've heard, the Move controls and the Wii controls they weren't bad. It's just, or apparently they're more precise, but at the same time they're more picky. Like, let's say you're trying to draw a straight line, it might be harder for it to recognize a straight line drawn by the Wii controller as compared to being drawn by the PlayStation controller. Yes, you gotta save new data, of course, stuff like that. Oh, by the way, the install file for this game off PlayStation Network is, I think, under 7 gigs, something like that. Oh, you didn't say it. They're supposed to say Okami. Yeah, blah blah. Yeah, so it's about 7 gigs. So it's a pretty decent sized game. Yep. Oh, that's right, it says when you do this. It's about 7 gigs. What else was I going to say? I forget what I was going to say. Oh yeah, something I'm going to be doing a little bit differently in games from now on is, if there's like talking scenes not really cutscenes, but like they're just talking and bantering and not really having any like action going on that's interruptible. I should probably let that play. I'll let it play later, I guess. But if they have like bantering going on, I'm not gonna stay quiet for that like I have done for a while. I'll contribute to the conversation at those points, but I'm not gonna be interrupting like cutscenes or like CGIs and stuff like that. I just think it'll work out just a little bit better this way. I'm also going to be doing mythology for this game. I have a couple notes on the mythology. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be decent. It'll give you guys a little bit of information on the mythology of the game. So, guys, I hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be quiet for this part since it's kind of like scrolling. We're not really scrolling, but it's a text-based intro. Some LPers like to read it out loud. I prefer to let you guys read it for yourself because some people like to get immersed in that kind of stuff. And by the way, it is a long intro, so yeah, let's get started. Okami. That's what I was waiting for right there, that little Okami. By the way, Okami in Japan, I think it means wolf, and you play as a wolf. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's what it means. But I'm gonna be quiet now, so. And here we are, the main character, Okami Amaterasu. Amaterasu basically means sun god. Hang on, let me check my notes just real quick here. Yeah, Amaterasu, she's basically the sun goddess. And yes, she is actually a female, even though... Well, she has certain male mannerisms, but she's a female, and... Okay, here's my notes right here. She's a sun goddess. She was born from the left eye of Izanagi as he purified himself in a river, and then she went on to become the ruler of the celestial plane, which we'll get into later, so don't worry about that. We'll do a little more mythology with her later, but for now, that's the important stuff. She is the sun goddess. Unfortunately, she doesn't seem to have the best manners. She does seem to take naps at the most random times if someone's rambling on about something. Which is pretty cute. I like it. I can't be good. And for those of you that don't know, Nippon is basically Japan in Japanese. So the game takes place in ancient Japan. I do believe something is tickling her. Holy crap, she has fleas. Then again, his hat kind of makes him look like a really bully. I think you succeeded. Bug. Yeah. Oh, so it's not the first time she's seen it before. And this is Wandering Artist Issa. This game utilizes the silent protagonist feature, if you can call it that. So he's gonna accompany us on our journey. He's gonna be the person that talks to everyone. Issa is based on a Japanese folktale about a one-inch boy where an old couple they pray for a child, but they get a child, but the little guy is only about 3 centimeters tall, about an inch tall or so, and he never grew any bigger. And so he goes out into the world to seek his fortune and stuff like that. And his parents decide to give him a sewing needle and a rice bowl as a boat. Well, the sewing needle is his little sword. They give him a little piece of straw for his sheath, and the little rice bowl they give him with the chopstick is his little boat and oar. And eventually, throughout his journeys, he ends up at a princess's palace, and somehow he becomes her attendant. And they get attacked by ogres, and somehow he manages to fend the ogres off. And the princess uses an item called the Lucky Mallet, turns them into full size, they get married, and He's big, but he never gets big in this game, so that's his little backstory. Great brush. Wow, that's nice. Not that, but yeah, it's not a bad drawing, I guess, if you're into the Japanese style drawings. Yeah, not quite. And yeah, Issun has a habit to not really call people by their name for the most part. Well, technically, Amaterasu, Amaterasu, however you pronounce the name, a lot of people pronounce it as just Amy because that's what a lot of the characters call her in this game. It's believed to be the reincarnation of Shiranui, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, there's his little sword. Dekomaru. Your spirits lie in your fruits. Okay. Now's as good a time as any to tell you about Sakuya. Sakuya, hang on, let me find my notes here real quick. Let's see. Where'd it go? Okay. There it is. Yeah, Sakuya, she's based off of Konoha Sakuya, Hima, basically princess, basically means Princess Blossom, and she was the daughter of a mountain god, Matsumi. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. And she's considered an avatar of Japanese life. Her symbol is the Sakura cherry blossom, and that's why her name is kind of Sakuya with the Y change from the R. Konohana is also the goddess of Mount Fuji and volcanoes, but that's not really her in this game. She, let's see. She met the god Ninigi on the seashore, and they fell in love. Ninigi asked her father, this is called Wohoyama, which basically means like which kind of means like god of the mountains, which he kind of was. He's a mountain god, and he asked her father for her hand in marriage, and the dad said, "No, I want you to marry my other daughter." What the heck is her name? Where did that name go? He wanted her to marry her other daughter. Iwanaga, who is basically like the princess of rocks, and Ninigi, he basically refused, and just went ahead and married Sakuya anyways. And because Sakuya represents prosperity and Iwanaga represented eternity, when he married Sakuya, that's what caused men to become mortal instead of having infinitely long lives. It's not the best explanation, but it's the best I can do at the moment. Wait, so we gotta cut that thing down from the tree? Okay, that looks kinda high up there. How about I toss you up there and use your knife to saw it down? Apparently, I've only been asleep for 100 years though. It wasn't that long. Alright, we can finally control Amaterasu, Amy, however it's pronounced, after some 30-minute cutscene. I'm going to make this episode a little bit longer than normal since it was a very long story cutscene. So this episode will be a little bit longer. Let's see, if you press circle, you bark, and oh, that does something a little bit later. Triangle, you can dig in the ground. Again, we'll get into that more later. Pressing square, you can do a little headbutt outside of combat. If you're running and you press square, it'll make you go into a dash, and you'll go faster until you like make sharp turns or something. X, you do the jump. Yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. It is pretty quiet in here, isn't it? Yeah, the right stick, nice and little typical camera movement. L1, I think it just makes the camera further or closer. I'm gonna alternate between closer and further away. Just sometimes it's better to have the camera closer, but some wider open areas, it's easier to see what's going on if the camera's further apart. So let's see. What was I gonna? Oh yeah. With our, we can't show it right here, so I'll just do it later, I guess. And yeah, if you click the R3 button, the right analog stick, it'll center on your back. Hang on 1 second. Alrighty. Sorry about that. Yeah, basically save files. They do restore your health when you step on them. So there's two different types of save files. We'll get into the other one eventually, but we're gonna see them, but we're not gonna be able to use them for quite some time, actually. Oh, and something that you may have noticed is when Istin talks, he has that little chatter, and when Sakuga talks, she had that little... Every character, when they talk in this game, they each have that unique little vocal sound that they make. There's no voice acting, it's just those little sounds. Some people don't like them. I think they add character. I think they're okay. Yeah, we can headbutt. And here's the money in the game. Those little ones, those are worth those little coins we saw. They're worth 10 yen each. So not a whole lot, but it gives you some money. You will need it for money. Money starts off hard to get a little bit, and then it gets really easy to get real fast. So we're not going to have too many money problems throughout the game. Unfortunately, if you try to break a rock with your headbutt, you'll crack your neck open, so don't try it. Let me do one thing first, I forgot. Camera control, in for both of those. Okay, I wasn't going in there. Okay, I just wanted to invert my... Yeah, I just wanted to invert my camera, that was all. Hey, treasure chest. Yeah, okay, you don't have a double jump right now. You can jump, but if you press the X button again, then a whole lot of nothing happens. And depending on how hard you press the jump button, you'll either jump kind of high, or as high as you can go. So it's pretty common stuff. Like I said, we're going to be going through all the missable treasures and stuff, so don't worry about missing anything. I'll be sure to point everything out to you. So what do you guys think about the graphics? I think they're really, really nice. It really does feel like you're playing a Japanese water painting or something like that. It's even on the PlayStation 2 and the Wii, the game still looked gorgeous. No matter what system you're playing on, the game's gonna look fantastic. We're gonna see better examples of how good it looks when we get to some better areas. But that horse lying in the air didn't really do it for me there. But yeah, look at the fire right there, for example. It's for being like cell shaded, whatever type of technique it is. I'm not really sure. It looks really, really good. And that's our first little healing item, the holy bow, which is in the tools category right here in your equipment. Here's our equipment we have on right now, the divine retribution. It's a reflector. There's other types of equipment, but we'll get into those later. Those three little circles right there to our right, those are our health units. The holy artifacts, we're not going to do anything yet. The sub, we're not going to do anything with that yet. There's our purse, obviously. The little blue thing, we're not going to get into that just yet. We'll go over the other stuff in the menu later. Bridge is out. How are we supposed to get over that? Yeah, pretty much everyone calls her Ami instead of Amaterasu or Amaterasu or however you pronounce that name. The spirits of the brush, what is that? That's what they say. Oh, wow. That was nice. Rejuvenation, huh? So it looks like it turns broken bridges into not broken bridges. The brush god power. Restore broken or missing things. Okay, so it can restore a whole bunch of stuff. 13? Wow, that's a lot. You have a long way to go there, buddy. Maybe they're really, really dedicated? So there's 13 of those techniques, and I'm going to guess they each do something different. But if they're all as cool as that one, we're going to want to look for them all, right? Let me try something here. No, it didn't work, okay. River of the Heavens. Stardust River? Let's check it out. Wow, that's quite the river there. Can't go very far, can we? Huh. Why doesn't he just use his little technique to make more water? Maybe it doesn't work on water? I don't know. Oh yeah, something that I forgot to mention about the jump attack, or not really attack, but the jump. You can't double jump, but that little dash attack with square, if you do it in the air, you'll get a little bit of like distance. You won't get any more height, but if you're trying to reach, like, let's say there was a spot from like here to right here or so that you couldn't reach by a single jump, you would be able to dash across and get that little extra bit of distance. So keep that in mind. Okay, we already read that. That's the spirit of not the spirit, that's the river of stars. I know you can jump on here. There's nothing up here. It's just I just wanted to jump up here. Oh well, screw it. I give up. Oh yeah, and one other thing I wanted to point out. When you're just... That little speed boost that I pointed out earlier when you dash, you'll get it eventually without dashing. See that little glow of light and how we're now sprouting little grass behind our feet and now flowers? There's 3 stages of running: the little run, the one where you dash and they have the grass, and then the one with the flowers. So it's a lot easier to so it's a lot faster basically to start with the dash instead of just run and wait until you finally start dashing. This way you get an extra couple seconds of the dash instead of having to wait for it. You don't really enter the full gallop faster, but it helps. It helps get around. You mean like a constellation, maybe? You're gonna draw on a missing star. I don't think you're that powerful, buddy. Yeah, that's what I thought. Press the R1 button to hold the brush and then the square button to draw. Okay, let's try it out. You spent a lot of time practicing, huh? So I'm not going to get it on my first try or nothing like that. Oops. Didn't mean to make you look bad there. Mother Amaterasu. This is Yomigami. He is the god of restoration. Which I just said about 5 seconds ago, but oops. So, rejuvenation, restoration, same general thing. He gave me something, but there was no like little victory chime saying he gave me anything, so I don't know if I actually got anything. Oh, maybe I do. So now we have the restoration technique, huh? And we get our first trophy. I was going to mention that, but I kind of forgot for a second. A funny little thing right now is if you try to use your brush, you don't do anything, just let it go. Instant gets all confused, and he acts like he doesn't. He acts like he didn't just tell you that you had the brush technique. So I always thought that was funny. He tells you have it, then gets all butthurt when you try to use it. I mean, heck, you couldn't even fix a little star in this guy, let alone a whole star river. Okay, so let's give it a shot here. Okay, in the screen with the brush, you can use the right control stick to move the camera angle around, so in case you need to see more of what you're doing. Something that a lot of people don't seem to realize is the left control stick, you can move it all the way up to the top of the screen and hold it up until it goes as high as it goes, and then move it down. You can also, I think, move it to the left and the right. So if something's out of your sight, but you can't get a good camera angle just from being on the field, you can rotate the camera while you're in the celestial brush screen. Okay, to use the celestial brush, by the way, you have to have R1 held down the entire time for this. So to use the celestial brush, use the square button, and that'll move stuff around. Notice how the ink got smoky when I drew on it. That means that the power of restoration is being used. You just told me 10 seconds ago that it was me. Be quiet. Okay, so with this, yeah, see how when I'm positioning it over where it can be used, it has that slight little trail right there behind it, that little dot. That means that the restoration can be used right there. I showed you with the square button, but you can also use the triangle button, and that makes a much fatter stroke. Makes it much easier to use. And another thing is that once you start drawing, you can't rotate the camera, and you can't use you can't get a better distance. So once you make even the tiniest little spot like that, you're not going to be able to rotate the camera or rearrange your view while you're in the camera. Or in the drawing area, my bad. Sorry. And one final thing that I wanted to show you, I'm not doing it all in one shot, just to show you this little thing right here. When you're using the technique, if you're using the square, the small drawing, hold the square button and hold the X button at the same time, and you'll move a lot faster. And for the triangle button, hold down the circle button as well, and again, you'll move a lot faster. It enables you to get what you're doing done faster, but it sacrifices accuracy. So for example, this isn't going to draw anything right here. Like, you can't draw the moon. But for example, let's say you wanted to draw a circle. That's without the holding down the X button. This is with holding down the X button. So it's a lot faster, but it's also a lot less accurate. So just keep that in mind. And what's in this treasure chest right here? Astral pouch. This is basically like our one-ups, kind of. A little bit. Yeah, basically you find food, it goes into the pouch, and when the pouch is full and you die, it revives you without your death counting. And which reminds me, there is a trophy. Come here. Come here, trophy. There is a trophy, if I can find it. Let's see. Lupine and Divine. Earn a cherry tree rank for each item in the results screen. Oh, this one right here. Barking up the cherry tree. Earn a cherry tree rank for each item in the total results screen. There's as a prerequisite for that, you can't die more than like 3 times. If you die while you have the astral pouch and it revives you, it's not going to count as a death, which counts against that. So as long as you have the astral pouch filled and you die, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it counting against your trophy score right there. We'll start feeding it with food. So, come here. Oh, that's money, not food. I need money or food. I'm hungry. Come here. Alright, there's our first one. An apple. Fills astral pouch a little bit, but a whole 1 unit. The astral pouch has 200 units. Peach fills another 1 unit. It has 200 units, and once it reaches 200 units, that orange also consumes 1. Once it gets up to 200 units, then it'll save you from death when you die. But guys, this episode is getting a bit long. I just wanted to make it a bit long because of all the introduction in the game, because it is a very long introduction. So next time we're going to figure out what's behind this door and see if we can't restore more bridges and seas and oceans like that. Guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good night.